Hello everyone, it's me Andrea. I will show you today a background I made. I had a scrap left over from one of my wash up or protection sheet I use for my desk. You can see me here using it at the moment as well. When it's full of paint, I use it for whatever backgrounds, cards, as a starter for an art journal page, whatever it is. And I had a scrap left, used it up for a lot of stuff, and I liked this color combination so much. And here I tried to recreate it again. So it was a very, very light blue. I've never used light blue. I don't know what it was actually. So I tried to get light blue as light as possible. And then there were a lot of gesso with brayers where I cleaned my brayers on and all that stuff. And a bit of this green, that's a gold green from Golden, fluid acrylic, as you can see, about a tiny bit of this green on there. But the best thing, what was on there, I cleaned my this tools where you put inks on, this Ranger tools, and I cleaned that. I used the orange dilution paint and I cleaned that off on that sheet. And so I thought I will recreate that, and here you can see it was tiny, type of this or kind of this, what it looked. I'm pretty pleased with it. So that's what I wanted to achieve. This is pretty much it. There was, of course, a lot of residue from cleaning up my stencils with all sorts of stuff, with molding paste or with other stuff, and that's what I do here. This is a stencil from Diane Reveley. Yeah, it is. And I use a very light modeling paste from Golden. Let that dry. After that dried, I put a layer of thinned down binder on top to keep that, because I wasn't sure what I would do on top of that. So just in case it wouldn't work, I could wipe it off easily. So this is stencil from Dina Wakely, and I use here an acrylic spray in turquoise, and I will stay in this really, really light colors because I didn't want to have the background with a lot of contrast. So, and a bit of stamping, and for stamping I use archival ink in cobalt. I don't know what you call cobalt in English. It's a darker blue, but again, I didn't want to have that much of a contrast in this background. So at the very end, now that's the almost the last step. It's the Lumiere's. It's the blue one, and I use it for a sprinkle on top a bit. Thin it down with water and then use it. But the very last step here is using this Lumiere in green and with a brayer and go over the raised areas, all this modeling paste. And that was the last bit, what was on this scrap. So it is not one-to-one, of course not, but at the end of the day, it is what I wanted to have, or what I wanted to achieve. It's very sparkly. I don't know, you can't really see a bit, a tiny bit you can see. Of course, it always looks a bit different on video, doesn't it? So what I will do with this is I want to make cards from that. Cut that off. As a card base, I use a 15 by 10.5 centimeters, so it's 30 by 21 centimeters, but you halve it and put it together. And I made a mistake. I was distracted while I was cutting, and I made a mistake. Instead of cutting the next bit in the same direction, I cut it the wrong way. And so I only got 5 out of that. But yeah, that's how it works sometimes. Concentrate more while you're working, Andrea. I will next time. Here I will show you. Here you can see that that's the wrong way around. So I'm not very fussed about that. That's what happens. So these 5 cards I will use, and as I said, I use a card base simply 15 by 10.5 centimeter, and I of course will mat these cards as well. I always like to have them matted. So the first one, I put this black die cuts. I really like the very harsh contrast here to the background. Basically, I didn't want to cover up a lot of the background because I thought the background is pretty busy. So this is a Dina Whiteley stamp, and I use one of these girls and a word, and I stamp that on craft paper. And I now thinking about that, I would have, or better would have used white, but that's okay. So I tear it out that the edges are not straight. It looks much better because I go over with distressing around the edges afterwards. So that's a Hero Art stamp. Really like this one. I can remember that's one of my first stamps I think I've ever bought. Liked it so much. So I use my anti-static body, as you could see, and now I stamp it with Versamark down, and I will use simply white embossing powder, and I like to leave it the stamp a bit longer on, that the Versamark can sink in. And here you can't really see what I'm doing. Oh, I discovered that I was out of camera, yeah. So this is a very cheap, simple white embossing powder, and on the other side I want to stamp this flowers down. That's a stamp set from Diane Reveley or from Tim Holtz, one of them, I don't know. And it's a Ranger, definitely. So, and same way, Versamark white embossing powder, very same one I used at the beginning for the other one. And then I will heat emboss it and cut it down. You know, that's what I always do. I let it run a bit, the heat gun, and when it's really hot, I will start to heat emboss it. You don't heat up the paper that much in this way. So I cut both up and edge it with distress ink, and I don't know if I will show it now, yeah. And both and on this torn page, or this torn piece on top with the girl's head stamp. And what I do with three of them, left them, as I said before, I wanted to be the background, stand out more, so I didn't want to cover up a lot. But afterwards, when I finished everything, I thought, oh, no, I don't like it, and I added more stuff to this 3 craft paper pieces. You will see at the end, and I will definitely show some pictures how they actually look after I put some embellishment on top. So at least you will see that on the pictures. So that is pretty much finished, and this is the only one I met on dark blue cardstock. Or the other I met with or layer on black cardstock, because I really like to do that. It makes the background pop more, you know, and it's a really harsh contrast. I really like that. Okay, that's the method. I put that down. I don't measure, cut it down, and then glue it on top. I was never lucky with that. So it's the best way to get it straight on. So this is a leftover scrap I had laying around, and I put it on and stamp with the same Versamark, with the same embossing heat. Simply happy birthday, because I need quite a few happy birthday cards. This weekend I made a lot of cards. I got low again in my stash, and I had some orders, and so every time I make some of myself, they get bored. I'm not, yeah, annoyed about that. I'm happy about that actually. So, okay. I use my attacher here to get that down. Sorry, out of camera again. You will see it close up and you can see it better. So I thought a final touch. These flowers need a final touch, and I used my Wink of Stella. Simply, I didn't want to have any color in there. As I said, I didn't want to distract from the background. I will show you a close-up now from all the cards, but as I said before, I changed my mind afterwards and put some embellishment of all these 3 with a craft paper on, or 4 of them. Did I change 4? You will see that at the end, guys. So that's basically it. I hope you like it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I see you with my next project soon. Bye bye, guys. Have a nice time. Bye.